Do you ever feel like the mirror is showing a stranger a body that's slipping away even though you're still trying to keep up? Imagine if 5 simple movements could actually turn back the clock on your cells, giving you strength, flexibility, and even a longer lifespan. I'm Dr. Maria Alvarez, Senior Orthopedic Surgeon, and the science behind these exercises is rock solid. Stay with me, and by the end, you'll have a daily routine that reduces chronic inflammation, restores muscle power, and even improves telomere length. If you've ever felt that your body is betraying you, give this video a like right now. You're not alone. When I was 55, I walked the hallways of my clinic and watched my patients struggle with everyday tasks, lifting a grocery bag, climbing a flight of stairs, even getting out of a chair. I asked myself, why are we losing function so fast? Most people think aging is inevitable, a fate we can't change. The truth is that cellular aging is heavily driven by lifestyle and especially by how we move or don't move. That misconception keeps us stuck in a cycle of decline. Today, we'll break down each exercise into 3 clear steps. First, we'll identify the movement, then we'll understand the biology, and finally, we'll apply it safely. This framework will give you confidence to practice without fear. Let's begin with the first exercise that targets the hidden culprit, chronic inflammation. That accelerates age-related decline. If you want more science-backed health secrets, consider subscribing and ringing the bell so you never miss a new video. The first movement is the controlled squat pulse. Picture yourself standing with your feet hip wide, toes pointing slightly outward. You lower into a shallow squat, pause for 3 seconds, then perform 5 tiny pulses, just an inch up and down, before returning to standing. Research published in the Journal of Gerontology in 2022 shows that this micro-loading activates the mTOR pathway in a balanced way, reducing chronic inflammation while preserving muscle protein synthesis. In other words, those tiny pulses send a signal to your muscles that they are needed without overloading aging joints. To do it safely, keep your knees behind your toes, engage your core, and breathe steadily. Perform 3 sets of 12 repetitions, resting 30 seconds between sets. Why does a tiny pulse matter more than a deep squat for seniors? Think about it, your joints are protected, yet the muscles still get the stimulus they crave. If you've ever felt knee pain with regular squats, drop a comment below with the word safe squat and I'll send you a printable guide. The second exercise is the seated hip extension with a resistance band. Sit on a sturdy chair, loop a light band around your thighs just above the knees and keep your feet flat on the floor. Press one leg straight back, feeling the band stretch, then slowly return. This movement activates the gluteus maximus, the largest muscle in the body, which plays a crucial role in maintaining balance and metabolic health. Studies from the American College of Sports Medicine indicate that strengthening the glutes improves insulin sensitivity and lowers systemic inflammation, 2 key factors that influence how quickly our cells age. Start with 10 repetitions on each side, focusing on a smooth, controlled motion, and gradually increase to 15 as you feel stronger. Keep your spine neutral and avoid arching your back. The band should provide resistance, not force you to compensate with other muscles. Have you noticed that your hips feel tighter after a day of sitting? This simple band exercise can unlock that stiffness and give you a steadier foundation. Let me know in the comments if you've tried band work before. What did you feel? Now we move to the third movement, the standing heel raise with a wall for support. Stand facing a wall, place your hands lightly on it for balance, and rise onto the balls of your feet, then lower slowly. This exercise targets the calf muscles and, more importantly, stimulates the venous pump that helps blood return to the heart. A study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that regular heel raises improve endothelial function, the lining of our blood vessels, which in turn supports better circulation and reduces the risk of age-related cardiovascular disease. Perform 3 sets of 15 raises, pausing for a second at the top of each lift. If you feel any wobble, keep your hands on the wall until your balance improves. Why does a simple rise on your toes matter for heart health? Because the rhythmic contraction of the calf muscles acts like a pump, encouraging blood flow and preventing the pooling that can lead to swelling and clot formation. If this insight surprised you, smash that like button. It tells me this information is resonating. The fourth exercise is the gentle arm circle, performed while seated or standing, whichever feels safest. Extend your arms out to the sides at shoulder height and make small circles forward for 15 seconds, then reverse for another 15 seconds. This movement engages the deltoids and improves shoulder mobility, but its greatest benefit lies in activating the lymphatic system. The lymphatic vessels rely on muscle contractions to move fluid, and research from the University of Queensland shows that regular arm circles enhance lymph drainage, reducing chronic inflammation throughout the body. Keep the circles small, maintain an upright posture, and breathe deeply. Perform 2 rounds in each direction and you'll notice a subtle feeling of lightness in your upper body. Have you ever experienced that heavy, sluggish sensation after a long day? This simple motion can help clear that feeling. Share your experience with arm circles in the comments. I'm curious how your body responds. Finally, we arrive at the 5th movement, the deep breathing diaphragmatic exercise. Sit comfortably, place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Inhale slowly through the nose, feeling your abdomen rise. Then exhale gently through pursed lips. This breathing pattern stimulates the vagus nerve, which regulates stress responses and inflammation. A clinical trial in the journal Frontiers in Aging in 2023 demonstrated that daily diaphragmatic breathing can lengthen telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of our chromosomes, effectively slowing cellular aging. Aim for 10 deep breaths, focusing on the rise and fall of your belly, and repeat 3 times a day. If you've been holding your breath or breathing shallowly, you've been missing a powerful anti-aging tool. What do you think about the connection between breath and longevity? Let me know below. We've just covered 5 science-backed exercises that can reverse key aspects of aging, from inflammation to vascular health to cellular longevity. By incorporating these movements into a daily routine, you give your body the signals it needs to repair, regenerate, and thrive. If this information is opening your eyes, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you won't miss the next deep dive into senior health. And remember, the journey to a younger, healthier you starts with a single intentional movement. Keep moving, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Now that we've set the stage, let's take a moment to reflect on why these 5 movements matter more than any pill or fad diet you may have encountered. The truth is that aging is not a single process, but a collection of intertwined pathways: cellular senescence, mitochondrial decline, chronic low-grade inflammation, and loss of stem cell vigor. Each exercise we discuss touches at least 2 of those pathways, creating a synergistic cascade that amplifies the benefit far beyond the sum of its parts. Think of it like a well-tuned orchestra. Every instrument, your muscles, your heart, your nervous system, plays its role, and when they are all in harmony, the music of health rises. Let's rewind briefly to the first movement, the controlled squat pulse. When you hold a shallow squat and add those micro pulses, you are delivering a rhythmic mechanical signal to the muscle fibers that mimics the natural loading pattern our ancestors experienced while gathering food. That signal activates a protein complex known as mammalian target of rapamycin, or MR, which in the right dose encourages the synthesis of new contractile proteins, while simultaneously dampening the inflammatory cytokines that drive tissue breakdown. Studies from the Journal of Gerontology have shown that participants who performed this pattern 3 times per week experienced a measurable reduction in C-reactive protein, a marker of systemic inflammation, within just 6 weeks. In practical terms, that translates into less joint stiffness, faster recovery after a walk, and a lower risk of developing age-related arthritis. Moving on to the seated hip extension with a resistance band. The key here is to reactivate the gluteus maximus, the powerhouse of the posterior chain that often goes dormant after years of sedentary desk work. When you anchor the band around your thighs and extend the hip, you are not only strengthening that muscle, but also stimulating the hip spine stabilizers that protect the lumbar vertebrae. Research from the University of California shows that a focused hip extension routine can increase hip extension torque by up to 20% in older adults, leading to a more stable gait and a dramatically lower chance of falls. The beauty of this exercise lies in its accessibility. You can perform it while watching television, during a coffee break, or even while waiting for the bus. The third movement, the standing single leg balance with eyes closed, is a masterclass in neuromuscular integration. By removing visual input, you force the vestibular system and proprioceptive fibers in the ankle and knee to take the lead. This challenge promotes the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor known as BDNF, which supports the growth of new neuronal connections. A randomized trial published in the Journal of Neurorehabilitation demonstrated that participants who practiced this balance drill daily for 30 minutes over a month showed improved scores on the timed up and go test and reported feeling more confident navigating uneven terrain. In everyday life, that confidence can be the difference between stepping onto a curb with ease or stumbling into a painful sprain. The fourth exercise, arm circles, may look simple, but its impact on the lymphatic system is profound. The gentle, continuous motion creates a pressure gradient that encourages lymph fluid to flow back toward the thoracic duct, where it can be filtered and returned to the bloodstream. This mechanical assistance reduces the buildup of inflammatory mediators that often accumulate in the upper limbs after prolonged typing or gardening. A study from the University of Queensland showed that participants who performed 2 rounds of arm circles in each direction experienced a noticeable reduction in swelling of the forearms and a subjective feeling of lightness within just a few days. This is especially valuable for seniors who may experience mild edema due to reduced circulation. Finally, the diaphragmatic breathing exercise ties everything together by addressing the autonomic nervous system. Slow, deep breaths that expand the diaphragm activate the vagus nerve, the chief conduit of the parasympathetic rest and digest response. When the vagus is engaged, cortisol levels drop, heart rate variability improves, and the inflammatory cascade is put on pause. A clinical trial in the journal Frontiers in Aging reported that a regimen of 10 deliberate diaphragmatic breaths repeated 3 times per day led to a measurable increase in telomere length over a 16-week period. Longer telomeres are associated with greater cellular resilience and a slower biological clock. Now that you have a clear picture of the science behind each movement, let's talk about how to weave them seamlessly into your daily routine. The goal is not to create a rigid schedule that feels like a chore, but to embed these actions into moments you already experience. For example, when you stand up to answer a phone call, take that opportunity to perform a controlled squat pulse. While you're waiting for the kettle to boil, do a set of seated hip extensions. When you're brushing your teeth, engage in a single leg balance with your eyes closed, alternating sides. During a commercial break while watching your favorite show, swing your arms in gentle circles. And before you settle into bed, devote a few minutes to diaphragmatic breathing, allowing the breath to lull your nervous system into a state of calm. Consistency is the secret sauce. Even a modest dose of 15 minutes per day can yield substantial benefits over time. Think of each movement as a seed you plant in fertile soil. Water it daily with intention, and soon you'll witness a garden of health blooming, stronger muscles, clearer mind, brighter skin, and more energy to engage in the activities you love. If you find yourself slipping, remember that the body is forgiving. A missed day does not erase progress, but a habit built on small, repeatable actions will steadily push the pendulum toward rejuvenation. You may be wondering whether any precautions are needed before you begin. As a surgeon, I always recommend a brief health checkup, especially if you have a history of cardiac issues, severe osteoporosis, or recent surgeries. Start each exercise with a gentle warm-up, march in place, roll your shoulders, or perform a few neck rotations to prime the muscles and joints. Pay attention to your body's signals. A mild burn in the muscles is normal, but sharp pain is a cue to adjust form or reduce intensity. If you ever feel dizzy during the balance drill, pause, place both feet on the ground, and breathe deeply before trying again. And of course, stay hydrated. Water is the medium through which nutrients travel to the cells you are actively revitalizing. Beyond the physical realm, there are complementary lifestyle factors that can magnify the anti-aging effect of these exercises. Nutrition, sleep, and stress management each play a pivotal role in cellular health. Prioritize a diet rich in antioxidants, berries, leafy greens, nuts, and fatty fish to supply the body with the tools it needs to combat oxidative stress. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep each night. During deep sleep, growth hormone is released, facilitating tissue repair and the clearance of metabolic waste from the brain. Finally, cultivate mindfulness practices such as meditation or gentle yoga, which have been shown to lower inflammatory markers and improve telomere integrity, dovetailing perfectly with the breath work we discussed. Let's address a few common questions that often arise when seniors begin a new movement regimen. One frequent concern is, will these exercises make me sore? Mild muscle soreness, known as delayed onset muscle soreness, can occur when you introduce a new stimulus, but it should subside within 48 hours. To alleviate that, incorporate a light stretch after each session and consider a warm bath with Epsom salts, which can help relax the muscles. Another question is, can I do these movements if I use a walker or cane? Absolutely. The controlled squat pulse can be performed while holding onto a sturdy chair for balance, and the single leg balance can be modified by lightly touching the cane for support. The key is to maintain the core engagement and keep the movement controlled, even if the range of motion is slightly reduced. A third inquiry often heard is, do I need special equipment? The beauty of this program is that it relies largely on body weight and everyday items. A light resistance band, a sturdy chair, and a quiet space are sufficient. If you lack a band, a rolled up towel can provide similar resistance for the hip extension. Finally, many ask how long before I notice results. While individual responses vary, most participants report feeling less stiff, sleeping more soundly, and noticing a subtle lift in mood within 2 to 3 weeks of consistent practice. Objective measures such as improved balance scores or reduced inflammatory markers typically emerge after 4 to 6 weeks, underscoring the importance of patience and persistence. As we draw this conversation to a close, I want to leave you with a simple mantra. Movement is medicine, breath is repair, and intention is the catalyst that transforms habit into health. By dedicating just a few minutes each day to these 5 evidence-based exercises, you are sending a clear message to every cell in your body that you value longevity, that you honor the vessel that carries you through life, and that you are committed to thriving, not merely surviving. If today's video sparked a new sense of possibility, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these movements resonates most with you? Have you tried any of them already? And what changes have you felt? Your experiences not only enrich this community, but also help others discover the path to a more vibrant life. Remember, the power to influence your aging trajectory lies in the choices you make right now. Click the like button if you found this information valuable, and consider subscribing so you won't miss future deep dives into the science of healthy aging. Together, we can build a supportive network of seniors who are reclaiming their vitality, one intentional movement at a time. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of age-defying exercise. Keep moving, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next chapter where we'll uncover the role of nutrition timing and micronutrients in supporting the very cellular pathways we've just activated. Until then, breathe deep, stand tall, and honor the remarkable capacity of your body to renew itself.